Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And we have a couple of really interesting topics today. For example, Ripple XRP will redefine online payments by former Goldman Sachs expert. This article is not completely new, but I have an interesting point that I want to bring to light. And so once more, even though we've already covered this, I still think it's worth a listen. Then Ben Armstrong, as you guys know him, Bitboy, has said some interesting stuff. This is not his own account, but of course the thoughts are still there because it's just a clip taken. Then Ripple had this very long article about NFTs a little while ago. I'll talk about that before moving over into a really interesting prediction about Ethereum, Polkadot, and Avalanche too. Then heading over into, well, a very interesting thing about Manhattan's realty to be specific, retail. And then Scaramucci going in for a really big investment in China about crypto. We can't actually see the article, but I have the title here, which is the only thing I really need. All right. So I didn't do the introduction properly, I guess, because I didn't explain the subjects too well. However, they're all in the description down below, so you can kind of click on whatever subject you want to listen to if only one of them sounds interesting. And guys, put a lot of work into making the videos as good as possible, so make sure you press that like button if you enjoy them. So first of all here, guys, one thing we covered is that Goldman Sachs has a couple of papers written on Ripple, specifically XRP in those systems, where they, for example, say XRP/Ripple is fine, but we need to build something a little bit more KYC compliant on top of it. That's something that they've said. Now, this Goldman Sachs expert, Andrew, also believes that XRP is likely to do really well as a public coin as soon as Ripple is able to resolve the issues with the SEC. Don't forget this, guys. There's actually ex-employees from Goldman Sachs over in Ripple. However, officially what Goldman Sachs thinks is actually not relevant at all. Because if you look back a little bit, we had Goldman Sachs members on the board of Ripple. Yes, we did. But what can they really add? And specifically, what can they add in comparison to, for example, key opinion leaders like Rosie Rios, that was a treasurer in the United States. A Goldman Sachs employee, I'm sorry to say, for any of you guys that work at Goldman, is really kind of futile in comparison to the freaking treasurer of the United States. If one of them knows banking, if one of them knows money, if one of them knows currencies, it's definitely going to be the treasurer of the United States. And so you shouldn't forget that Ripple has one of those key members on the Ripple board. And that's also one of the assurances which I have as to why Ripple can really kind of never lose. At least that's my own thought process, but I think you guys agree with me here that they actually have a key person in that sense. And so Goldman Sachs is fine, but those guys are all over the place about crypto. And even if they're a really big person at Goldman Sachs, it doesn't really mean the world, at least not to me. All right, this Bitboy thing real quick. It's just that Bitboy has actually changed his mind from, I'm not even sure because it has a Cardano logo in the background here, but he's basically changed his mind from being really bearish on XRP for a long while to extremely bullish. Some people see it as a good thing, some people see it as a bad thing. The good part, now let's see the bad part first. The bad part is it's a radical shift. So people don't think it's genuine, and the information that he spreads is hopium based, and a lot of it is kind of fake with fake insiders, right? We all know. The good side is, well, a man can change his mind, so we should see it as a positive thing, because if he can do it, a lot more people can change their mind about XRP. A lot of the negativity can be going away as people change their mind. Second of all, XRP is making progress and makes people want to change their minds because it helps them with the viewers. So even if you see that bad point number one, the positive side to it is, well, he does so because he thinks it's going to give him more viewers, more money, whatever. But that's a good thing, right? I mean, if XRP was so hated or so bad, then talking about it would only decrease your loyal followers or do bad for your channel. But if he starts talking about it, you know that he has an entire team. You know that this is actually a really good deal. Then he knows, and we know that then it has a bullish influence on the channel, and generally speaking, talking about XP then is a good thing. Also, it gets hundreds of thousands of new people to kind of flock or go towards XRP. So again, I'm kind of happy about that in the end of things. And so, yeah, I can't really overall see it as a bad thing. I can't. It's just a good thing, even though he might not have the proper just intentions. It's a good thing ultimately. It helps for the community. Then evolving RippleNet for a tokenized future. Only thing you need to know about this article is how XRP Ledger specifically can actually do really amazing with the help of NFT. And a lot of people don't know what NFTs are, but in the easiest sense, they're just a way to store up value or lock up value or note value period. That's actually a really easy way to see it. Because people think, for example, oh, but I can have the JPEG as an NFT and you can have the JPEG. We're both of the same thing. Yes, but no. The JPEG itself is not unique necessarily because you can always just copy the JPEG. But the number of that specific JPEG is unique. And that's the same thing for example, a piece of art in the real world. A piece of art, anybody could, theoretically speaking, remake it, right? It might take a lot of work, but let's say I drew one line on a piece of paper, right? And you copied the exact same line to the dot. We both have the exact same painting on a different canvas, but let's say it's exactly the same thing with exactly the same color, exactly the same everything, identical. Yet, we still have a completely different piece. Even though nobody can figure out the differences between the two, one was made by a really huge creator like me. Wow, that's just a hypothetical scenario, right? And one was created by you. That's the difference right there. They still have a different coinciding number and a different sort of perception in the real world. Same thing for NFTs, right? If you and I make the exact same NFT, mine could be worth a lot more, for example, because this number just has more demand on it. It can mean it's exactly the same thing. But point being, that's kind of what NFTs entail for a lot of people. What they didn't really understand as to why. It's just people attached something to the value of the uniqueness or the fact that you can really show the ownership of a specific thing, even though nobody might actually respect it in the real world. Like, for example, JPEG, even though you own the meme, people are still going to use it, right? But you actually own the meme, for example, because you own the rights to that specific piece, which is kind of cool. And that was something that wasn't really possible before. These newer sort of contracts, which are really kind of crazy for digital things, right? Before, it was really hard to put a contract on a digital thing completely. Right now, it's completely possible. Point being, right now, this NFT space is really crowded, right? All these platforms are doing amazing because of the NFT adoption. Don't forget that XP Ledger has actually got a really, really good and really cheap way of arranging this if it actually pulls through. But it could be another really, really huge game changer because almost every crypto right now that is a platformer has done amazing by adopting NFTs. I really wonder how good XRP Ledger could do if they actually started getting into it too. Because tokenized values, tokenized things, everything that can be tokenized now, which is again also part of the Internet of Value, Ripple's mission, it can actually be done through NFTs, a good part of it. And NFTs are a lot more special than people might make it out to be. Then I'm a little bit criticizing this one. Ethereum's above $10,000 is already programmed into the matrix, says crypto trader Lark Davis. So let's set one thing up front. I firmly believe that Ethereum can hit $20,000 easily, even in a very short amount of time. However, I do not believe that this title is actually something you should hold too dearly. Being programmed to go somewhere, programmed in the matrix, that's really strange wording, and I sometimes think you might give people the wrong idea if you make something sound so certain. Even if you are. Like I am, for example, very certain that XRP will hit $10 or even $20 a coin. I'm very confident in that. I will not really make my titles that way or say it is going to happen for sure, because you might give people the wrong idea as to how fast it's going to happen or give them too much certainty for their own good. So I'm not really happy with that way. And also $10,000 is just a random number because it doesn't have any legitimate reason to go to 10,000 specifically. Then again, he's also just doing his job, right? So, I mean, who cares? It's just, I personally think it's not that ethical to throw those things out there. That's just me. Then Polkadot, Avalanche, and 2 additional altcoins are the top crypto assets to watch, says trader Jason Pizzino. Polkadot, Avalanche, both platformers, both have their own respected systems of doing things really different than any other platformer. We've talked about both of them in the last week or so for exactly what they explain. I'm, to be honest with you, not exactly sure why he's so excited about Polkadot and Avalanche specifically. He's also talking about Cosmos, Atom in this article. Once more, not exactly sure why those 2 cryptos so specifically. They're just platformers like the others. And as I've said before, I'm really bullish on almost all platforms because NFTs and just the space is so, the DeFi space is so crowded up right now. But I can't really say one crypto over the other as it currently stands. Then, just a little quick announcement. Buyers can pay in Bitcoin for Manhattan retail properties. Don't have to tell you guys much more than that, right? How? I don't know. What exactly you buy? I don't know. But there's properties being made for sale with crypto, so that's pretty damn cool. Then, Scaramucci raises $100 million to invest in Algorand. Once more, very cool announcement. I guess if you're an Algorand fan, yeah, very nice, right? I mean, Skybridge Capital has announced that it has secured $100 million for its Algorand fund. Okay, once more, this is kind of an announcement like, oh, okay, now you know. There we go, move on. Because it's just a huge thing. But yeah, they already have a couple. I think they have a lot of money in Algorand already. They're just adding to it. At least that's as far as I know now. Or it was just a big crypto fund that they have, which is $700 million wide, and they're now adding Algorand to it for $100 million. I don't really know, but I just know it's cool to see some of these guys buy into Algorand that much or give it some room for development, for example. Then again, it's happening in the background every single day. It's now just that you see it on the front. But $100 million into a project like that is not actually that insane. It's just a start. Unless they're going to buy it all at once, which will really up the prices. But usually, a lot of this money is actually meant eventually for ecosystem purposes too. Because when these huge guys invest, often the platformers themselves choose to spend a good portion of the new money that's generated in their own system to ecosystems, to, for example, expand. And then last but not least, which is also very peculiar, as I've said, only the title is important. China is set to intensify the hunt for crypto miners in hiding. If you're over in China watching this video right now on your VPN, be very careful. Because apparently Chinese miners are still going to get the ban hammer a little bit more significantly, because if you thought you were safe, well, they're coming for round number 2. It's just peculiar to see them, even increasing now the hunt for these miners. I'm really not sure how you're going to find them, just electricity consumption or what. Because it's pretty damn difficult to see a small mining operation somewhere if it's just, for example, a server lab, as there are freaking 10,000 in China, 100,000 maybe. But once more, I guess about that one, we'll see as well. I'm not in China, I'm not mining crypto like that, so I guess I'm kind of safe. But for all of you guys that are, or if you like this type of stuff, make sure you press that like button. Good luck hiding, guys. And again, none of this stuff is financial advice or legal advice, just a random guy on the internet that likes to make crypto updates. And that was it for today's video.